Uncle's Cat. Welcome to my ongoing series on prepper complacency, and here again I'm going back to food because food is the number one complacency that most preppers have, in my opinion. So let's see what we're on about, shall we? In a nutshell, in your average home you should have 3 months, 12 weeks supply of food for you, your immediate family, your dogs, your cats, your snakes, and also anybody else who may show up in an SHTF event who you actually want to feed and look after. Not a lot of people have that. I'm going to say this again because I don't think people can actually hear what I'm saying when I move my lips. The food you should be storing in your home should be 3 months, 12 weeks supply of food that you would normally eat for you, your family, and anybody else who might show up, and that includes your pets. Do you have that? Well, what you should do now is stop this video and go and have a look in your kitchen. I'll look in mine. Let's see what we should find together, eh? So this is our main pantry, and this consists of the hard and tinned goods that we like to keep on hand and that we use all the time. And as you can see, we're not particularly good at having tidy order. Now we have a bit of a leg up on most people because we're vegan, and that's part of complacency, is realizing that nutrition is the fundamental component that the human being requires to live a long and healthy life, and that should be the goal for all of us, with or without prepping. So I'm going to take out one of these drawers and show you what's in one of the drawers, and I'll show you the second pantry as well. This is not a prepper pantry. This is what we use. This is what we eat. And in most events are going to be under 3 months. That's what you should be storing, right? So that's one cupboard. There's Becky. They always come around when I'm eating. So there was a tin of chickpeas, some soybean milk powder, some pecans, some kidney beans, and various bits and bobs, which you probably don't have. Kasha, excellent breakfast cereal, good grain. Quinoa soup mix. Pearl couscous. Unidentified white stuff. Kitty will know what that is. Pearl barley, another good thing that you should be storing. It lasts a long time and is very useful. An expired container of soya milk, so I shall have a look at that. Some crackers. Some filberts, otherwise known as hazelnuts. Some crackers of some description that were left over from something. And an open packet of sun-dried tomatoes, one of my favourites. A pre-bought package of soup mix. Really kind of like this. They're kind of expensive and you can make these yourself, but they last forever, and the spicing is in with the bean and soup mix. An open packet of premium dates. We use dates a lot, adding them to milks. As you can see, good old Ryvita, always a good standby, lasts forever really. Some more hazelnuts and tomato. So unopened in glass is the way to go with storing anything with tomato. It's acidic and it will, given sufficient time, burn through tins. And I'm not quite sure why this is in there, but I will ask Kitty when she gets up. It appears to be edible. I shall find out if it is. Now the other major complacency is food hygiene. Regularly going through your food, throwing out expired or damaged packaging, cleaning the places you're storing food. None of that can be skipped in the now. None of that can be skipped in SHTF. It's going to actually be more critical to gently bleach out areas like this at least every 3 to 6 months, especially if you're doing wild foraging. 3 times valuable, so I'm not going to go through all of these on camera, but you can see there's a fair amount of food, a lot of rices, a lot of grains, and a lot of nuts, reflecting what we actually eat. Now this is the secondary pantry. Contains what you'd normally expect, oats and cat containers, or not cat food, and various bits and pieces, lemon juices and stuff like that. We also have stuff out in containers on the shelving, so we use them frequently, different types of seeds and rices, and of course coconut oil, extra virgin or virgin, which will last an awful long time and is the best way of storing coconut oil and fats for grid down, and we use a lot of it in and out. I think everybody has one of these cupboards. This is where the nut oils and the nuts and the various weirdo things that we have just get stuffed, and we just pull them out and root through them. There's a lot of calorie dense food products in here, and this would be added to rice and kasha and quinoa to actually provide a lot of nutrition if the grocery stores are shut. For example, maple flakes, because we're Canadian. There you go, various bits and pieces that we can use to create foodstuffs and meals in grid down, because that would be the goal, is to be able to take whatever we have in the house and feed ourselves reasonably normally for us for a period of 3 months, including maybe up to 4 or 5 people that might show up who we actually might want to feed. It wouldn't be great, but it's certainly a cheap and easy way of doing it, and the problem of food rotation is solved when you go for a 3-month food supply. That food you actually eat, not what's cheap at the dollar store. Of course, that's the major complacency with food, isn't it? People don't see food as something worth spending money and time on, and they see food as fuel. Just pour the gasoline in to do the workload, and then strangely enough in their 50s, 60s, 70s they get cancer and heart disease and they don't know why. Read up on nutrition, learn about nutrition, try and make healthy changes now in your diet. The only really accepted healthy change is to increase dramatically the amount of fruits and vegetables, and a variety of those that you eat 365 of the year. So I would encourage you to look up nutrition. There's a lot of fad nutritions out there that have no longevity or proof in longevity, but being pretty much vegan has been proven throughout all cultures and races to be the #1 method of living longer and critically healthier. Now, of course I'm a prepper, so I have other foodstuffs around, but for example the black beans and the chickpeas, I'll buy like 2 or 3 cartons of them from Costco and store them in the basement, and then take them upstairs and replace them as they start to get low in supply. So I have an awful lot of food in the house, much more than 3 months supply for obvious reasons. I'm a prepper. But how much food do you actually need? Well, like everything in prepping, people will sell you different ideas, and as you can see from this one, people can go very basic on what they wish to eat and do it quite cheaply. But again, I would appeal to you to think about your actual nutrition if you actually ate this diet. It's not the greatest diet, and you can eat cheaper and better than this. You owe it to yourself and you owe it to your family to feed them well. I mean, you can buy dehydrated broccoli, but wouldn't it make more sense to actually have seeds and know how to grow broccoli? It certainly would be a lot cheaper, and I'd argue a lot more healthy. When you actually look at some of the ingredients lists, they're a little bit frightening. So yeah, I don't think Legacy Wise, Thrive, whatever, has a place in regular prepping. Regular prepping would be for power outages, big ice storms, maybe political instability for a little while. You know, the 1 week to the 3 month time scale, and then society's back to normal again. The majority of places in the West produce far too much food and throw most of it away. So we're conditioned to be complacent about food. You can always go to the grocery store, they're open 24/7. You can always order food to be dropped off at your house. Food is an abundant resource. A primary focus that we have as people should be to enjoy this abundance and store it up for bad times and to try new foods. But the truth is, the average North American's only buying the same 20 things in the grocery store every week. If you don't believe me, start to write down what you're buying and how much, and also write down the cost of it. A lot of people are not experimenting with different types of food, and this is a huge error. In grid down, food is food. Whatever you find will become food. You need to have the taste and the ability to cook and preserve and eat foods from a wide variety of ethnicities and cultures in the now. But you really need to know what you're growing locally. Well, that's it from me. Remember, in SHTF, if you don't prepare, tomorrow will always be worse than today. So get prepping. And yeah, get 3 months supply of food that you normally eat in your home. It may take you months to do this if you're on low income, but do it. A lot of the grains, a lot of the jams, a lot of the exotic foods last forever. You don't need to buy them in Mylar bags. You don't need to buy dehydrated cheese solids to actually prep. So get out there and do it. Have a look at your pantries. See what you regularly eat in your regular life, not your prepper stores, but what do you have in your kitchen? Get those drawers filled, not with crap, but with food. Okay? Toodles.